pretty sweet old guy shoulder day today. So why don't you take a minute or two, pull up a chair and hang out with Howard and me for an excellent shoulder workout. Okay, today I want to take you into the gym with Howard and myself for a pretty sweet, pretty comprehensive, fairly quick shoulder workout. I can't remember exactly how many sets we did total, but we'll add those bad boys up and you'll see exactly what we did. So let's hop in the gym and get at it. Alrighty, let the shoulder day commence. Now, as always, or mostly always the case, Howard and I walked up here to the gym, and that's a little bit of our warm-up, plus a little bit of our cardio for the day. And we're in the midst of our shoulder warm-up here, getting ready to jump into what's going to be predominantly dumbbell and cable related shoulder movements. Now, when I say predominantly, it's going to be all dumbbells and cable movements. Pretty good one. 10 total sets. So let's get right into it. Let's go. We are going to kick off today's epic shoulder workout with 2 sets of heavy dumbbell lateral partial raises in the 12 to 15 rep range. Now, when I say heavy, I mean heavier than you would use for a full perpendicular lateral raise. Okay, with these heavy dumbbell partial lateral raises, I want to start with these first because they're the heavier movement, and I want to emphasize the partial portion of this. Rather than going to full perpendicular with a lighter weight, what I want to do is just keep it at like a 60% range of motion, let's say, somewhere right in here. And keeping the elbows slightly bent and keeping the workload and tension on the deltoids and the traps. Not fully perpendicular, but partial. Keep the stress on the whole time. You know, I find this a great movement, in particular to start a shoulder workout. Heavy, partial, lateral dumbbell raises. Now, to me, they isolate the outer portion of my delts. I feel a burn there. And on the contraction at the top, I feel a really good connection up there on my upper traps. So 2 good sets of these at 12 to 15 reps is excellent work to start the shoulder session today. I'm watching Howard there in the background with his movement patterns with the dumbbells. He's still struggling a bit with that, and we'll talk about that more in a bit. Next, we're going to jump into 2 sets of fully perpendicular dumbbell lateral raises in the 12 to 15 rep range. Going to be a little lighter, but we're going to go fully perpendicular. Okay, for the lighter, fully perpendicular lateral raises, obviously lighter weight. I like to do this at the end. 15 plus reps, fully perpendicular. Okay, you can straighten the elbows out a little bit more. Keep the tension on again, all the way down. Don't let it fully drop. Perpendicular. Just that simple. Feels good. Okay, a couple of points I want to make here as we do the second set of these fully perpendicular laterals. First off, my movement is not fully perpendicular. I probably should use a lighter weight. I should straighten my arms out a bit and certainly move my hands up a little higher into more of the cross-like or perpendicular range. And I still got something out of this, but in my mind's eye I was visualizing the perfect movement, but in reality not quite there. That's why it's always good, if you can, to record your workouts just to see where you may be going awry. Plus, watching Howard again with his movement patterns, he's focusing more on moving the weight around rather than actually doing the movement. And I need to spend a little bit more time with him on what we're trying to do here with the weight rather than just moving it around. More to follow. Okay, next we're going to move into one of my favorite dumbbell overhead press type movements. This is a partial, I call it a partial overhead dumbbell press. So let's see how this works. Okay, so on these particular overhead dumbbell presses, what I like to do is emphasize the deltoids and take the triceps out as much as possible. So we're going to have the dumbbells here, and we're just going to keep the elbows bent at like a 90-degree angle and just push the elbows up. Contract the traps, contract the deltoids, keep the triceps out. Just like this. Like opening and closing a C, I guess you call it. And I want to keep the, like I said, keep the triceps out, and in particular up here at the top, nice contraction on the deltoids and the traps. This is a really excellent shoulder movement. Well, here I'm actually pretty pleased with the movement here upon review of the film. This is exactly in my mind's eye the way I wanted to perform these movements. Now, I saw this movement somewhere on some video some time ago, and it was done by a bodybuilder who had a problem by overdeveloping his arms. So when he was doing shoulder day, he wanted to keep as much of his arms out of it as possible. So he devised this particular movement, which in essence is basically kind of like a overhead shoulder fly, where we want to concentrate and do the mind-muscle connection on the delts, the outer delts, and it also hits the upper traps again. So this is an excellent muscle building thickener for the traps and the outer delts. Again, this is a sweet movement. If you haven't tried it, give it a go and let me know what you think. Okay, time for us to put some work into our rear delts and our front delts. Now, from our rear delts, we're going to do 2 sets of work. We're going to start with a cable crossover. As you'll see here, this is one good set to 12 to 15 reps or near failure. I love this cable crossover. It hits my rear delts exactly. I mean, I feel a burn in the rear delt. Of course, there's some crossover into the back, the rhomboids, the mid-lower traps, but it really hits my rear delts really good. Now, it's my contention that we hit the rear delts a little more than we think we do by virtue of the fact when we do back day, the rear delts are naturally included. They have to be. The same thing with front delts. When we do chest day, push day, the front delts have to be and are included in that work. So I'm going to put more emphasis on the side delts on shoulder day with 6 sets of work here at least, and less emphasis on the rear and front delts, limiting those two to 2 sets of work apiece. And the rear delts, there are a myriad of ways to hit those. It just so happens today we're going to use this crossover, cable crossover, and in a bit you're going to see a variation on the face pull. Now, this is Howard working his crossover. Again, we're still working on some movement patterns. He doesn't have this movement down quite yet, but we're working on it. Still a good set there. So the second set of today's rear delt work, face pulls. And that's a little modification. Most people, I guess, would use a rope. Matter of fact, Howard prefers a rope. I prefer to use a handle and grab it with 3 fingers with my pinky outside. Just feel like I get a better pull here. I love it. This face pull movement, I've been experimenting with various and sundry levels, like chin level, nose level, forehead level, to see which of those levels hits the rear delt the best. But this chin level works the best for me. Now, today's shoulder session did include some calf work too, by the way. Did not record the calf work. My 4-day workout program, shoulder day, is shoulders / calves. And I'll include the calves in the next shoulder workout. But we did have a good calf workout. Now here's Howard with his rope version of the face pull. And this is one movement that he's making good progress in. He tells me that pulling like he does, up higher like that, he feels the muscle contraction, the mind-muscle connection right there, right where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to go with it, and if this works for him, more power to him, because it looks like he's got the movement down. This is a movement pattern that works for him, so we're going to keep with this. So today's rear delt work was cable crossovers, 1 set, and face pulls, 1 set. And we're going to finish up now with some good old front delt work. And I believe, if you've been watching me for a while, at least the last 3 or 4 months, I've become a big fan of these kettlebell front raises. You grab the kettlebell, or kettlebell, I want to call these kettleballs, but kettlebell by the ears there, and just raise up right about forehead level, trying to keep the tension on at the bottom. Don't let your arms go all the way limp. 12 to 15 reps or near failure. And here's another example where Howard doesn't have movement pattern down just right yet, just yet. He's kind of keeping the kettlebell too close to his body. This is a case where if he had a good trainer, the trainer would be watching him and fixing it. I tried to fix it on the last rep there, but too late. Still, he said he felt it, so he got some work out of it. Now we're going to finish up today's shoulder day with some dumbbell front raises. And I like to do these as a variation, just to move my hands out a little bit wider, just to give a little different feel, a little different hit on the front delts. But there it is. That's 10 good sets of shoulder work. I fully intend to incorporate some dumbbell overhead presses soon, and to be honest, I meant to do that today. I just totally spaced on it and didn't do it. But dumbbell overhead presses as a first movement are excellent, and that would be one of those where I wouldn't probably be in the 8 to 12 rep range. I'd probably be in the 6 to 8 rep range. I like to do those heavier, but I didn't do those today. Next time we will. 10 full sets, 10 great sets of shoulder work today. I enjoyed it. I think Howard did. So let me know what you think. Sure appreciate you being here too, by the way. Thank you. All right, there you go. Pretty sweet. Shoulder day is now a portion of my 4-day workout program. We did include calves, didn't record calves, but we did calves after the fact. 2 good sets of 30 plus reps. It's a nice workout. Still got to work a little bit on Howard's dumbbell lateral raise form, but that'll come. That movement pattern will become more normal for him later. But we've still got some good work in. And the next video is going to be an update on Howard's squat and deadlift progress. He's doing great. And shortly after that, I'm going to video my first attempt at, well, it's probably going to be my second session at front squats. So that should be a hoot. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But for now, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to stop in. I really appreciate it. And as always, hit that like button, share this with your friends, leave some comments. That's always great. And if you haven't already, consider clicking that subscribe button and come join our really cool group. And I guess with that, I'll say, till next time, go get 'em. Mark out.